September 9th, 1998. The Submarine Voyage takes its final journey through the lagoon it's called home since Walt Disney himself opened the ride on June 14th, 1959.
Hi, Christmas Eve, Nautilus.
You would pass under large waterfalls, go under polar ice caps, a graveyard of shipwrecks, a treasure cove inhabited by mermaids, and a silly sea serpent. In its early years, you could spot mermaids on the rocks of the lagoon. This wouldn't last for too long, as the chemicals in the water gave the mermaids rashes, and the fumes from the diesel-powered submarines caused them to get sick. When the ride first opened, the submarines were a gray, almost militaristic color, but this would change to yellow in the mid-80s. The ride became an icon for the park, and it came as a shock of the announcement of its closure. After the ride closed, there was not a replacement lined up. While executives waited to do something with the space, the entire ride continued to sit abandoned with its figures and decorative set pieces still submerged. These photos were taken in 2001 by a former cast member. The ride's closure came from the infamous Paul Presser cost-cutting initiative, which saw segments of the park getting neglected and cheap budget-cut additions. The large cost to operate and maintain the ride made it an easy target for the initiative. The submarines were stashed inside the show building past the waterfalls. The queue was converted into a gift shop for the Utopia. Paul Presser stated in an interview, "We know in the future we need to do something with that location, but we have not made a decision on the subs. And we won't make a decision until we know what we want to do in the future there."
Atlantis is waiting.
The first attempt to salvage the submarines came before the release of Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Imagineers started envisioning of what the ride possibly could look like. Imagineers at this point being fed up with the park's executives. Without telling park management, they put up a blue tent and banner teasing the Atlantis expedition. When park management saw it, they ordered its removal that same day. Legendary Imagineer Marty Sklar allegedly threatened to lay across Harbor Boulevard, a street outside Disneyland, if they didn't at the very least replace the subs. When the film finally came out, it was a critical and financial failure, canceling any potential Atlantis retheme. In 2003 came the release of Finding Nemo.
Fish are friends, not food.
The film was a massive success, grossing well over $940 million. Could this be it? Imagineers determined the subs had another 50 years of service life. The project was greenlit and given funding. In 2005, construction began. Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage would open June 11, 2007.
The subs are back. Come live your dream with the all-new Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage, now resurfacing at the Disneyland Resort, the place where dreams come true.
There are a few subtle nods to the original. Above the loading area, there is a pipe labeled Seawater Supply TL59, which stands for Tomorrowland 1959. There is a rock formation that is meant to resemble the silly sea serpent. The ride's current audio package makes reference to the sea serpent and mermaids.
We better take her up before we have a run-in with a sea serpent or an encounter with a mermaid.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Now, what happened to the figures that were abandoned in the lagoon? Some of them were salvaged, like one of the mermaids, and yes, even the silly sea serpent. Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage still operates at Disneyland to this day. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you, and have a great day.